Tianbao Fu Yao Lu. Chapter 147. A Thorny Dilemma. A good number of people ended up leaving, and amongst them were several girls who came to bid farewell to Turanduct. Of those, many were actually Hu women and Hu girls who had been sold here. Hung Jun also spotted several of the young people who had tried to solicit his business back when they had gone to the heavenly river of Tenli. Atai and Turanduct spoke with the Hu people. Before Atai then sketched out a simple map on the ground. His meaning was that since they had been left behind, it was best that they leave. They had best restore their own freedom and cross through the Guanzhong plains towards Liangzhou, where they could return home. The Hu women and the Hu people all kowtowed to Atai, and Atai, Ashinakayan, and Turanduct stood in front of the three of them. Atai made the symbol of leaping flames with his hands as he began to chant an incantation. The light of the lamps cast their shadows long on the ground, accompanied by the prayers of the Hu people. That was an elegy of the Zoroastrian tradition. Not only did it ensure that the souls of those who had passed would pass on peacefully, it also prayed that the god Mazda would grant them peace. In the end, the Hu people all helped each other along as they left, following the heavenly river of Tenli. After their bitter battle, everyone was already bonelessly tired. Under Li Jinglong's guidance, they came to the little wine shop where Hung Jun had run into Li Bai back in the day. Li Jinglong's entire body squashed down on Hung Jun as he slumped heavily down. His body, with the weight of the armor, was almost 250 jin, and it clanged as he sat down. Aside from Yangtze, the rest of us are finally all together, Li Jinglong said. The rest of them were either sitting or lying down, resting right there in that dimly lit wine shop. Hung Jun and Lu Su split up to light the lamps on the second floor, and those beams of light crisscrossed, as if they were living in a fleeting dream of life. Morajin had one leg bent at the knee, and he propped his elbow up against it as he leaned up against the railings of the wine shop, looking out. The Tenli of the heavenly river looked cold and desolate. The splendid, sensuous wealth of days past had vanished without a trace. I have imagined who knows how many reunions, Morajin said, but I never expected that it would have happened on this day, in this place, to such a scene. Atai remarked, reality has shown that I do need to learn how to use some weapons. Everyone began to chuckle at that. Ashinakayan said, irritated, wasn't it you who told me to go into the tower to begin with? Hung Jun laughed as he looked over the group, feeling a sense of indescribable happiness. For some reason, Li Jinglong said, when I look at the ceiling, I am reminded of the amber of Lanling. Turanduct liked cleanliness, and she was currently holding a cloth as she wiped the tables in front of them. She replied easily, what is there to miss? Didn't you all say that the food that I made was too salty? I miss the food that you made, Hung Jun said. I also miss your shop's wine, Morajin added. I miss your shop's drinking snacks, Li Jinglong said, gathering his strength and shedding his armor, piece by piece. He took off his pauldrons and vambraces and tossed them to the side, before continuing, let's look around and see if there's any wine. Lu Su said, there are 2 jugs downstairs. Want to drink them? Everyone said, we'll drink, we'll drink. Turanduct was still holding onto those drinking snacks that she had bought, and now she found a few plates and set them out. Lu Su pulled out some drinking bowls, and he poured out wine for each of them. Cheers! Li Jinglong said. At that, they all lifted their bowls and drained them in a single go, so as to celebrate their reunion. Let us pay our respects to Yangtze from afar, Li Jinglong said. The group then all raised their cups again and drained them. Li Jinglong then said, and now, let us pay our respects to Zhao Zilong from afar. The hall was once again filled with chuckles as the group drank their wine. Hung Jun recalled the Karpiao that Lu Su had spoken of, and he wondered how it was doing, far in distant Yuzhu as it was. He couldn't resist sighing at that. It's truly been hard this time, Li Jinglong said. After we close the curtains on this act, the world will be at peace. Morajin said, every time, you say that this will be the last, but when has it ever truly been peaceful? Don't jinx it. Lu Su admonished him. Everyone hurriedly agreed, and they made Mo Rajin drink another bowl as a self-administered punishment. Mo Rajin scratched his head, but he had no choice but to drink it. Li Jinglong added, I'm an unlucky person, and I brought you all along to be unlucky with me. Sorry about that. Hung Jun said, that won't be the case. I feel like this is truly the last time. Li Jinglong meant that as long as An Lushan entered the city and they successfully subdued him, all of this would be over. However, last time, they had planned very meticulously to attack An Lushan, only for something to change at the very last moment, thus causing them to fall just short of success. Though I say that, Li Jinglong added, 1.5 years ago, we also managed to successfully whittle his strength down. As of right now, An Lushan won't be able to live for much longer, and now that he does not have the sacred flame protecting him, it shouldn't be hard to deal with him. The 12th day of the 12th month, 14th year of the Tianbao era. Case, exorcise devils. Difficulty, heaven level. Location, Luoyang. Persons involved, An Lushan, Mara. Case details. On the 9th of the 11th month, An Lushan allied with Shi Siming to rise up in revolt, attacking cities both major and minor in the Hebei region. They then entered the Henan region, leading their troops down south. On the 12th day of the last month, the imperial envoy Bi Sichin surrendered, and the city of Luoyang fell to the enemy. An Lushan will then enter the city of Luoyang, and the members of the exorcism department will do their utmost to expel Mara. Remuneration, 1,000 years of peace for the human realm. Once more, everyone thought, we'd better not have to do this a third time. Our plans did actually bear fruit, Li Jinglong said, wetting the tip of his finger with some wine to draw a map out on the table. A year and a half ago, after Mara escaped, chasing it to Yuzhu was actually not the best option. We must lure him out, so that he leaves Yuzhu, before we do battle again. Mo Rajin tossed the seal and the command tally back to Li Jinglong, who caught them. Mo Rajin said, where we failed was that we should have first ambushed him along the banks of the Yellow River. Li Jinglong sighed deeply, before saying, we had no choice. Hung Jun asked, what are your plans this time around? Back in the day, when Li Jinglong was discussing his plans, Hung Jun didn't really listen, but this time, he had no choice but to listen. Based on that night that they had attacked Xiaoyu and An Lushan in the Daming Palace, if he let Li Jinglong do as he wished, he would probably end up trying to burn away his vitality again. This time, I'm planning to do the following, Li Jinglong said to Hung Jun. Remember that day when we battled An Lushan's underlings by the earth vein? 2 of the 4 monsters, wine, lust, greed, and pride. Of course Hung Jun remembered. The power that is contained within the earth veins can be harnessed by humans, Li Jinglong said to the gathered group. That day, under the Kun God's guidance, I borrowed the power of the earth veins for a short amount of time. That power is too great, Lu Su said, glancing at Mo Rajin before continuing to address Li Jinglong. Your meridians will not be able to handle it. I have the heart lamp protecting my heart meridian, Li Jinglong said. Back then, I already managed to successfully harness it once. The 7 divine formations of Luoyang connect to the underground, and will allow me to temporarily gain access to tremendous power. You're going to make a god descend to earth again? Hung Jun asked, frowning. Li Jinglong said, this is the only way. As long as I can protect my heart meridian, I won't die. This is at least much better than setting my vitality alight, isn't that right? Of all the people gathered here, only Hung Jun was the most well versed in the medical arts, so he did fully understand what doing so would entail. Do you know what the consequences of doing so will be? Hung Jun said. Even if you can temporarily harness the power of the earth veins, your meridians will not be able to hold up against the onslaught, and they'll be charred to a crisp. You'll be done for. You won't be able to practice martial arts any longer. Even moving will be difficult. Li Jinglong replied, meridians can be repaired. Hung Jun stopped talking, his forehead furrowed deeply, his gaze indignant. I'll go, Mo Rijin said. The grey wolf is half Yao, I'll be able to bear it. Lu Su immediately said, no way. It's even more dangerous for you. Hung Jun and Li Jinglong looked at each other silently, neither of them making a sound. Suddenly, Li Jinglong asked, your dad's power of the phoenix can regenerate meridians, is that right? It can, Hung Jun said. But that is a very long and slow process. As soon as Li Jinglong called the power of the earth veins into his own body, though it would temporarily raise his cultivation and power to an impossible level, the meridians in his body would be burned away as a result. Plus, if even this was unable to destroy Mara, what could they do then? It will definitely work, Li Jinglong said. Mara is already considerably weakened, and the battle in the Daming Palace proved that as long as I have enough power to call down another god, it will be effective. But you can't call Akalanatha, Hung Jun said. Dai Pankara will be enough, Li Jinglong replied. This is too dangerous. Hung Jun really could not accept this as an option, and his mind was a tangled skein of thoughts. Don't just sit around, help me persuade Hung Jun, Li Jinglong said, smiling at the rest of them. Once I'm lying paralyzed on a bed, I'll have to depend on him to look after me. As soon as he said that, the rest of them stopped talking. They all knew of the feelings between Hung Jun and Li Jinglong, and in the face of the huge cost that would have to be paid for their plan of attack this time, who could bear to let such words of persuasion cross their tongues? I, for one, wish to do it in your place, Ashinakayang said. But I won't be able to stand in as your replacement. Only Li Jinglong's heart lamp had the power to subdue Mara, which was something that everyone knew very clearly. Plus, they did not have any other choice. How long will it take to repair the meridians? Atai asked. There may be some panaceas in the western regions that can help speed the process along. At minimum, 3 years, Hung Jun murmured in reply as he rose and walked to the railings, looking out. At the longest, a lifetime. Li Jinglong replied, hey, Hung Jun, I promised you before that we would be together for our entire lives. But you must understand that there are many things in this world in which it is impossible to satisfy both sides. Look at Luoyang right now, and think about Chang'an in the future. I think that this is very worth it. Li Jinglong spoke those words calmly into the dead silence of the hall. Isn't there any other way? Tu Rainduct asked. Hung Jun knew that Li Jinglong had a good handle on how to persuade him, because with how things were now, they had no other choice. He turned and glanced back at Li Jinglong, who simply smiled slightly, looking at him with infatuation in his gaze. They watched each other calmly across this distance of several steps between them. The rest of the group felt that the two of them needed some time alone, so they all moved to leave, but before they could, Li Jinglong said, I'll give all of you a bit of a benefit first. As a superior, I have truly not done my job well. I said that we'd be able to rest for a few days, but then all of that happened in the dragon subduing tower, and we haven't had the chance to catch our breath after we came back before we're off to fight a war. I have compensation to offer you all for that. And saying that, Li Jinglong laid out 4 dragon scales. Everyone gasped in surprise. Lu Su asked, what is this? Those were in fact the scales that the 5 dragon kings in the dragon subduing tower had handed over to Li Jinglong, and Li Jinglong explained what had happened to everyone, before pushing one to Atai. This one counts as yours and to Rainduct's, you two are one family. Atai studied that dragon scale, saying, it can really summon them. Li Jinglong said, all you need to do is pour your magic in and set it alight, but you'd better not mess around and try it out. This is yours, Ashinakayang. Ashinakayang took it, putting it away with great gravity. Li Jinglong handed the third piece to Mo Rijin, saying to him, this is yours and Xiao Lu's, I'm counting you two as together. Why are you counting the two of us as together? Lu Su asked. Everyone. Ashinakayan said, no way, are you two still not together? How long has it already been? As soon as those words were spoken, the atmosphere grew even more awkward. Morajin said, don't listen to his nonsense, he's just being huffy with me. Hey! Lu Su raged. Don't talk nonsense. Upon seeing that there was basically no way of getting out of this sticky situation, Morajin replied, here, I'll give it to you, stash it away well. I'm going downstairs for a walk. And saying that, he walked away quickly. Lu Su held that scale, his expression a little frozen, and Hung Jun thought, no way. Is he going to cry? With the way things were going, he looked as if he was going to cry, too. So, Hung Jun suddenly forgot about everything that he was worrying over and tried to change the topic. However, he hadn't thought that Lu Su would actually bound swiftly to the railing and chuck that scale straight down. Just as Morajin stepped out of the doors, something came flying at him from behind. As he alertly turned, the edge of the scale was sharp and it slashed past his cheek, drawing a little bit of blood. Are you looking to die? Morajin suddenly bellowed, catching that dragon scale. The group then looked back at Lu Su, and the atmosphere grew very awkward. Li Jinglong thought, will you two ever be done with your fighting? Look at what kind of situation we're in now, yet you're still arguing. I've already given Yangtze his, Li Jinglong explained. As for this last piece, I'll give it to Hung Jun. Hung Jun went forward and took it. He knew that to Li Jinglong, they had gone through life and death together, so this really wasn't much. He raised an eyebrow at Li Jinglong, a questioning light in his eyes. The mutual understanding they had established over the long time they had known each other let Li Jinglong understand what he was getting at with just a glance. Li Jinglong nodded, and Hung Jun handed that dragon scale to Lu Su. I'll give mine to you. Lu Su didn't take it. He simply shook his head and climbed onto the railing, vaulting over it and up onto the rooftop. Hung Jun called after him. Lu Su. Hung Jun stuck his head out, and the rest of the group dispersed. Hung Jun. Should I go with you to look for him? Li Jinglong asked. Let him be by himself for a while, Hung Jun said, after thinking about it for a bit. Li Jinglong had never made any comments about the emotions and attitudes of his subordinates. He did not try to act as a go-between between them, nor did he try to resolve them. Instead, he let them resolve their own issues. Li Jinglong said, come over here and massage Gage's arm, it's gone weak. Hung Jun fell silent for a moment. After witnessing Morajin and Lu Su fighting, he suddenly felt that Li Jinglong was so good. Ever since they had gotten together, they had basically never fought. For some reason he couldn't put his finger on, those two were different from the two of them, they kept coming up with new ways to needle each other. I love you so much, Hung Jun said. Li Jinglong replied, I've always known that. Li Jinglong was sitting, clad in his inner robes, his hair mussed. He had been drinking, and his scent was that of blood and wine. The way in which you look at me, Li Jinglong said, tells me as much every time. Hung Jun let out a sigh and walked over, sitting crisscross in front of Li Jinglong. He pulled his arms to him, massaging his shoulders. Li Jinglong rolled his right shoulder a few times, before saying, ever since Yu Snake Han bit it, it often goes weak. Your arrows still fly true, Hung Jun said. It's been so long since I've shot an arrow, Li Jinglong said. Help me wipe my body down. Hung Jun went to fetch some more water. After the battle, both of them were covered in blood and sweat. Li Jinglong first stripped down completely and had Hung Jun wipe him down, and when Hung Jun wiped the wet cloth in his hand over Li Jinglong's lean muscles, he couldn't help but wrap his arms around Li Jinglong from behind, tilting his head and pressing it against his back. Once this battle is over, Li Jinglong mused, I'll have to lie in bed for 2 or 3 years. You can beat me up then. Hung Jun did not say a single word. He simply continued to wipe his body from him, from his buttocks down to the heels of his feet, as if he was worshipping a god who would burn himself up to bring fire to the inhabitants of the world. You can do whatever you want to do with me then, Li Jinglong said. I'm guessing that you won't be able to resist making me. And saying that, he winked slyly at Hung Jun. Hung Jun began to chuckle. Suddenly, without knowing why, he recalled a future that Yuan Kun had shown him. Even now, he still didn't understand why he had seen that scene. Let me go, Li Jinglong said. Hung Jun asked, if I say no, will you not go? Li Jinglong said, if you were not you, and you said that, I perhaps would not have gone. But this is not only for the sake of Luoyang and Chang'an, it is also for your sake. Paying such a price for the two of us to be together for the rest of our lives, truly nothing can be more fitting than this. Hung Jun understood the meaning behind his words. Li Jinglong wasn't doing this solely to get rid of An Lushan, he was doing it to get rid of Mara, to get rid of this curse that had accompanied Hung Jun for too many years, so that it would completely vanish from their lives. Promise me that you'll stay alive, Hung Jun said. Otherwise, I'll become a devil and slaughter the entirety of this divine land that you're protecting, until the rivers run red with their blood. You won't, Li Jinglong said, smiling. You're only saying this to try to coerce me. Come, get up. Hung Jun wiped Li Jinglong's body clean, so Li Jinglong had Hung Jun stand up. He then said, take it all off. Now it was Li Jinglong's turn to go to the well to fetch more water, and to wipe Hung Jun clean. Hung Jun shut his eyes, feeling the shuddering sensation of the icy cold cloth moving across his flesh. But I promise you that I will come back alive, Li Jinglong said, and everything that I have promised you, I will definitely accomplish, no matter how many times it takes. Last time, didn't you? I didn't say a single thing last time, Li Jinglong explained, wrapping one arm around Hung Jun's waist, while he wiped the other down his chest. Once An Lushan enters the city, we'll ambush him first. I'll pretend that the ambush has failed so that he purposefully captures me, and at that time, he will definitely interrogate me. As long as he comes face to face with me, Li Jinglong said, you all will activate the array of the 7 heavenly formations, so that I may strike the decisive blow. Bring the dragon scale with you, Hung Jun said, opening his eyes. Li Jinglong turned and came to stand in front of Hung Jun, both of them facing each other. He said quietly, okay. He lowered his head to kiss Hung Jun, before kneeling on the ground with one knee, lifting his head to kiss his body. Hung Jun felt a pleasant numbness sweep up his scalp, and he looked down, only to see that Li Jinglong was currently licking him. A moment later, Li Jinglong then gestured for him to lie down, and the two of them fell into each other's embrace in this wine shop. We'll do it after you get back. Hung Jun suddenly pressed a hand against Li Jinglong's chest. Hey! Li Jinglong was torn between laughing and crying. Who'd you learn this from? We'll do it after you get back. Hung Jun's eyes were filled with mirth as he scooted forward and pressed a kiss to Li Jinglong's lips. End chapter. Tianbao Fu Yao Lu. Chapter 148. Departed souls passing on under the moon. As night fell, a light rain began to fall over Luoyang. The light of the fires in the city continued to flicker, and there were sounds of crying coming from the distance. Lu Su left the Tenli of the heavenly river, walking along within the city. He saw that there was a person, half of whose body had been crushed under the ridge beam of a roof. Their body was charred and blackened, and they cried and moaned. A plume of black chi rose from them, drifting towards the sky above. Lu Su knelt with one knee to the ground, pressing one hand against the forehead of that charred body, quietly reciting an incantation. He looked as if he was glowing gently with a white light, and that charred person shut their eyes, closed their blood-red mouth, and became a corpse resting there quietly. Suddenly, an arrow shot past his ear, and from behind him came the sound of a door collapsing to the ground. Lu Su swiftly turned, only to see the long sword in a rebel soldier's hand fall to the ground, his hands wrapped around the arrow shaft that protruded from his throat. When he turned his head to the other side, he saw that on the other end of the street, Mo Rijin stood tall. The bowstring that he had just released was still humming, and he was still in his arrow-firing stance. Lu Su did not reply, simply turning around to walk along the main street of Luoyang, reduced to rubble. The alleyways were strewn with corpses, as well as people who had yet to stop breathing. The city of Luoyang had become a city of death. 2 monks were in a corner, helping the souls of those residents who had died pass on, but from behind them came the sound of hooves. A rebel soldier charged towards them, and with a wave of his saber, sent one of the monks' heads flying to the ground. A rope looped itself around the other monk's throat, and with a fierce yank, he fell to the ground, his body bouncing along as the rebel soldiers amused themselves. Lu Su immediately grew enraged at that, and he raced forward. Beside him, however, an even swifter shadow dashed past, and with 2 consecutive arrows, Mo Rijin shot both of the rebel soldiers dead. Lu Su hurried forward, cutting the rope with his dagger and rescuing that monk. "Great master?" Lu Su hurriedly asked. That monk had been knocked unconscious, and Lu Su hastily brought him to the side to compress his Renzhong point. Mo Rijin followed after and handed over his water skin, indicating that Lu Su should have him drink some. Lu Su wanted nothing more than to walk far away at that, but unfortunately, saving a life was more important. He had no choice but to take the water Mo Rijin was offering and feed some to the monk. "Leave from the south gate," Lu Su said. "Don't linger. Quickly now, next time we won't be able to save you." The monk sighed, and he recited a Buddhist chant as he walked away from that mountain of corpses. Mo Rijin said, "You injured me here. Take a look." And saying that, he turned his head, letting Lu Su see the scar on his face. Lu Su did not reply, instead turning and leaving. Mo Rijin, however, followed along behind him, not too close, but also not too far. "Fuck off." Lu Su turned and bellowed at Mo Rijin. Mo Rijin replied, "Zhenji's taking my place as the target, are you happy about that?" Lu Su really wanted nothing more than to give him a good whipping. Mo Rijin added, "Want to fight? Then you'll be happy." In the blink of an eye, Lu Su turned into a gust of wind and pounced on Mo Rijin. Mo Rijin, however, did not fight back, instead allowing Lu Su to trip him so that he went falling backwards. His back hit the ground first, dispelling the impact away from the back of his head. Lu Su then pounced on top of him, pulling out his dagger to stab it into his eye. Mo Rijin simply watched that dagger quietly, but Lu Su stabbed it into the ground instead, completely exhausted. Mo Rijin said, "That tantrum of yours just now ruined everyone's good mood." "Fuck if I care," Lu Su replied coldly. "You were asking for it?" Mo Rijin said, "I have something to give you, here." And saying this, he pointed at his own chest. "Take it yourself." Lu Su moved to rise, only for Mo Rijin to grab his wrist, enraged. "What exactly are you looking for? Zhenji and Hung Jun are back now? There's a limit to how long you can throw your tantrum." Lu Su roared back at Mo Rijin, "I'm not looking for anything. Who agreed to live with you? Is Zhenji coming back such an amazing event that I have to end up going along with all your wishes?" Mo Rijin only looked at Lu Su, not saying a thing. A moment later, he reached his hand into the robes around his chest, only for Lu Su to smack it away. "I don't want it." Lu Su raged. "Keep it yourself." Mo Rijin was at the end of his rope now, and he said, "Come on, slap me, come slap me. Slap me a few times." Lu Su replied, "You think I wouldn't dare to?" Lu Su sat astride Mo Rijin and with a forehand and a backhand, actually landed 2 solid slaps on him. Mo Rijin did not resist at all. "Are you good now?" Mo asked. Had enough? Are you still angry? Lu Su didn't say anything. He glared at Mo, his eyes reddening. Mo pointed at his own chest again, gesturing for Lu Su to take the thing. I really don't want it, Lu Su said. I simply. My heart feels really stifled, and I don't know why. Truly, after he heard Li Jinglong's plans, Lu Su suddenly felt very sorry for Hung Jun. Though Hung Jun didn't know anything about it at all, the person in the original plan who was supposed to draw the power of the earth vein to him was Mo. But with that, it was very likely that Mo would be burned to death by that great power, and it might not have even done anything to Enlushan. Sending Li Jinglong in instead would result in the best outcome. Lu Su left Mo, turning to walk along the street. With a jerk, Mo rose to his feet and reached his hand into the robes around his chest, pulling out a brocade pouch, which he held in his hand as he raced to catch up. What is it now with you? Mo asked. If Zhenji hadn't come, Lu Su said, doing his best to make his quivering voice calm, the person who would have gone to assassinate Enlushan would have been you, right? That's right. Mo answer came very easily. Lu Su turned to look at Mo. That was the original plan, Mo said. If Zhenji stayed locked up in the tower, I would have left tomorrow, so before I left, I wanted to have a good chat with you. Lu Su saw Mo bright eyes in the dark night. Those eyes, however, held a tinge of desolation in them, and for a time he actually didn't know how to respond to him. What did you want to talk about? Lu Su asked. About this thing between the two of us. Mo offered that brocade pouch to Lu Su. Lu Su lifted his gaze to look up at him, then back at that pouch, then back again at him. The two of them fell silent for a moment. A gust of wind blew through the city of Luoyang. The dark clouds parted, and moonlight filled the city. The two sides of the street were filled with corpses, and Lu Su strode along through them towards Mo. That scene looked as if it had come from a bloody sea of hell, as fresh blood seeped forth from the corpses. Every step that he took, he left behind a purple-black footprint. Zhenji taught me, Mo said, as long as I say, the Chang'an of tonight is so beautiful, you'll understand. But I, truly can't bring myself to say that. Lu Su suddenly stopped in his steps, and thought deeply for a moment. His antlers appeared on his forehead as he shook out his robes, sweeping them through the air, bringing with them the light of the moon. Suddenly, the moonlight came pouring down from the sky like a silvery waterfall, blanketing the ground. The mountains of corpses piled up on the streets gave off burst after burst of black chi that rose into the sky, melding into the roiling black clouds above. Lu Su said, all sentient beings have the Buddha nature. As he finished talking, he put his hands together. The silvery glow of the moon scattered, turning the black chi rising from the corpses filling the street into motes of light that rose into the sky. Mo hurried to copy Lu Su, putting his hands together as well, standing tall as he did so. The gray wolf and white deer ended up standing there face to face, just like that. The hazy glow of dawn-like light revolved around them, sending the souls of the mortals who had died wrongly in battle towards the divine vein high in the night sky, where they could then pass on to the next life. Under that sky filled with light, Lu Su opened his eyes. He quirked an eyebrow at Mo, but he did not say anything. That single movement of his spoke more than 1,000 words ever could. After it was over, their surroundings returned to their previous silence. The souls of those thousands of people had already been released by Lu Su, with his power to dispel evil dreams. The black clouds came rolling back in, and the light of the moon once again dimmed. Mo understood, and he studied Lu Su's eyes, replying, "You are a spiritual being. You are the deer king that stands at the foot of the Buddha's seat, whereas I am nothing more than a wild beast from the mountains. If you go with me, I'll be ruining you." As long as you know that, Lu Su mocked him derisively, not holding back at all. Mo once again offered up that brocade pouch, saying, if you don't mind me, then take it. Consider it a token of my regard. The sentence that Lu Su had been waiting for had finally been spoken, and now he looked up at Morrigan. In that moment, it seemed as if there were many things he wanted to say to him, but he also felt as if there was nothing that needed to be said. He took that brocade pouch. Morrigan then pointed at his cheek, gesturing for Lu Su to take a look at the wound on his face. Okay, Lu Su said. I've already accepted it. What else do you want? Open it up and take a look. Morrigan asked. Suddenly, the ground quaked, and there was a bellow. The main street shook strangely. Morrigan couldn't keep his footing, and he went sliding towards Lu Su. Watch out! Lu Su shouted. Morrigan swiftly grabbed onto Lu Su, before leaping towards one side of the street. He reached out and grabbed onto the doorframe of a house, and the two of them dangled off that doorframe, all while the slope of the main street grew steeper and steeper, as if there was an invisible hand deep under the ground pushing the surface up. Lu Su's eyes were filled with horror. Morrigan immediately said, "Don't talk. Look, down below." Lu Su looked down, only to see a huge Yao beast crouched at the end of the main street, its mouth gaping open as it let out a chuang. That Yao beast had the head of a lion and the body of a dog, and its eyes were as big as cartwheels. It cried out a few more times, before opening its bloody, gaping maw wide, its mouth filled with sharp teeth. As the main street collapsed, the entire street full of corpses slid downwards in twos and threes into that Yao beast's mouth. The Yao beast's mouth was so large that when it opened its mouth could encompass the entire horizontal end of the street. It kept swallowing more and more corpses, and finally took in all the thousands of corpses on the street. With that, the Yao beast shut its mouth and turned to leave. The main street tilted back down, returning to its original state. Lu Su and Morrigan exchanged a glance, their eyes filled with shock. "Let's follow it and take a look," Morrigan said, before transforming into the grey wolf. Lu Su put that brocade pouch away as he climbed onto the grey wolf's back, and the two of them followed along behind that Yao beast. At the entrance to every street, the Yao beast would let out a few chuangs, and every street would tilt at that, and the corpses would slide down to be swallowed into the Yao beast's mouth. And there was not only a single one of this Yao beast. In the depths of the night, there were actually 8 Yao beasts wandering around swallowing corpses, and together they managed to gulp down almost 100,000 corpses of the residents of the city. They gathered up along the main avenue and formed a line, and with a hop and a skip, headed towards the Mingtang in the north of the city. The grey wolf vaulted over the wall outside the Mingtang, climbing up to a high spot. Lu Su plastered himself against its back and said quietly into its ear, "Look." 3 Yao commanders stood in the middle of the Mingtang. They were Zhao Yun, Liang Danhuo, and An Luzhuang, and behind the 3 of them was An Lushan, his body rotting all over, billowing with black qi. The grey wolf's ear twitched, and it lifted a paw, indicating that Lu Su need not say any more. The 8 huge beasts each took up a spot around the plaza outside the Mingtang, and they began to make those chuang sounds again, regurgitating mouthful after mouthful of the corpses. There were more and more corpses that kept pouring forth, mixed in with limbs that had been broken, and even heads, and they piled up outside the Mingtang hall. Even Lu Su, who had spent long years up in the northwest battling the Hu invaders, had never seen such a large number of corpses. There were 200,000 households in Luoyang at this time, and almost 1 million residents. About half of them escaped before the battle began, which meant that there were still 400,000 to 500,000 trapped in the city, with no way to escape. Li Jinglong had only rescued a small number of them, and almost 300,000 residents had been burned to death, shot to death with arrows, died to the various humiliations that the invaders visited upon them, or trampled to death. These 8 Yao beasts were searching for corpses throughout the area, and each of them managed to take in almost 20,000 corpses into its mouth. They spewed them out on the plaza out in front of the Mingtang hall, which was piled with the corpses of almost 160,000 humans. That scene, to Lu Su and Mo Rijin, was almost unimaginable. After this massacre in Luoyang, 160,000 corpses piled up in a mountain outside the Mingtang, almost enough to fill the entire plaza. A blood pool almost a zhang in height had pooled in the plaza, and when the corpses were laid out, that could truly be described as a sea of dead bodies. In the eyes of the three commanders, this was just like a huge pool filled with fish, or other types of animals. We want ones that are alive. Liang Danhuo was torn between laughing and crying. What use can they be if they're all dead? And Lushan's voice was deep and hoarse. My men have orders to capture the live ones, and they've already brought back quite a few, which are in the back courtyard right now. Tomorrow morning, you all may partake of them. Tonight, assist me in finishing this task first. Li Jinglong will not have fled so easily, he will definitely return. Before he returns, we must make adequate preparations. And after saying that, and Lushan slowly strode down the stairs, opening his mouth wide. That body, compared to when Mo Rijin and Lu Su had seen it a year ago, had rotted away even more. It had already lost its humanoid appearance, and looked like nothing more than a yaoguai made of dirty mud. Black chi billowed forth from Lushan's mouth, and countless corpses in that sea of dead bodies melted, turning into sludge and rotting flesh that Lushan sucked into his mouth. The three Yao commanders all called forth their neodan, which revolved above Lushan's head. The neodan glowed with bursts of light as they poured their magic into Lushan's body, helping him to maintain this form of rotting flesh. Lu Su gently tugged the grey wolf's ear, making it turn its head. The grey wolf turned its head very slightly, only to see a very small black shadow by Liang Danhuo's feet. The Carpiao was currently sitting high up on the stairs, nodding off. A moment later, a wriggling earthworm dropped down from the roof, smacking against its head. It looked to its left and right, only to see that Lushan had swelled by quite a bit, and was currently greedily consuming corpses from the sea of dead bodies. The more he ate, the more black chi of resentment billowed forth from his body, and Lushan continued to gorge himself on them. So horrifying, the Carpiao murmured to itself, before noticing the earthworm by its feet. Oh, the Carpiao immediately reached out to grab the earthworm, but the earthworm was too slippery and slipped its grasp. It wriggled on the ground a few times, before it crawled into the hall. The three Yao commanders had all their attention focused on releasing their neodan to help Lushan cultivate, so no one had the spare time to pay any attention to it. The Carpiao chased after the worm, vaulting over the threshold, entering the Mingtang hall. Just as it entered the hall, a cloth bag was pulled over its head. Then came the muffled thud of a baton cracked right over its fish head, and the Carpiao immediately fell unconscious as it was kidnapped. End chapter.